Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are gonna check some topics like passive voice and causative have. So let's learn together. Okay, first we have passive voice. We are going to go through three specific questions like what is it, why do we use it, and how do we use it. The first question, what is it? We have two examples here. Pepe drives his car. And the second example is Pepe's car is driven by him. Okay, what is passive voice? Passive voice is a sentence structure where the object of the action becomes the subject of the sentence. We can see this in the first sentence. The subject is Pepe and the object is his car. But in the second example, we have Pepe's car as the object, as the subject of the sentence. In passive voice, the focus is on the receiver of the action rather than the doer of the action. Okay, the second question is why use passive voice? We have three specific points that as the reasons of using passive voice. The first one is to emphasize the action or result rather than the doer. The second one is when the doer is unknown or unimportant. And the third one is to sound more formal or objective, especially in academic or scientific writing. Okay, we have an example of the first key point. A new law was passed yesterday. Here, who did the action doesn't matter, but what what was made the law matters a lot. Okay, the second reason okay, the example of the second reason is the window was broken. Contextualizing this, a mother found out a broken window, but she doesn't know who broke the window. That's why we have the window was broken, but we don't know who broke the window. And the final reason to sound more formal or objective. The example is the experiment was conducted in a controlled environment. It looks like something that you can read in an academic article. Finally, we have how to form passive voice. Basically, we have a formula of object which acts as the subject of the sentence. After that, we have the verb to be. Next, we have past participle of the main verb plus by, and finally the doer. Here we have a table with some examples in different grammatical tenses. We have first simple tenses. To refer to simple tenses, we need the verb to be. For example, in present we have is, in past we have was, in future we have will be, and finally with conditional we have would be. It refers to the be that you have in the formula. After that, we need the past participle. In this case, we have the verb wash in past participle, washed. Second one is continuous tenses. To refer or to identify continuous tenses, we need an extra be, and after that, we have the verb be with ing, which is according to continuous tenses. That's why we have in the first sentence, talking about present continuous, we have it is being washed. In past, we have it was being washed. Future, we have it will be being washed. In conditional, we have it would be being washed. We are gonna take this example to explain a little bit a little bit more. Okay, it will be been. Why we have two verbs be here? As I said, for continuous tenses we need the auxiliary be. That's why we have this first be. And the second one belongs to the be that we have in the formula. So because of we have the first be, the next be, the second be, we need to add ing. And finally we have the past participle. Talking about the specific, talking about perfect simple, we have present. Here we need the auxiliary, which is have. In this case, because we are working with it, the auxiliary is has. After has, we need the past participle of the verb be, which is the one who having the formula. So the sentence is, it has been washed. In past perfect, we have it had been washed. And in future, we have it will have been washed. And that's all.
Now we are gonna explain about the causative have. As you can see here, we have three key questions. The first one is, what is it? The second one is, why do we use it? And the last one is, what is the structure? So let's start. The first one, what is it? As you can see here, the causative have is a grammatical structure that we use to say that someone else performs an action for us. The second question is, why do we use it? We use the causative have for asking a favor for someone. It means that we cause or arrange for something to be done, but we don't do it by ourselves. Now we have the structure of a causative have. As you can see here, first we have the subject. Then we need to use the have, that in this case is the causative. Then we need to put the object. And finally, we need to use the past participle. So now let's check the causative have in the different time tenses. First of all, we are gonna start with the present continuous. As you can see here, we have the structure of this time tense. First, we have the subject, then the verb to be, then the have, that is the causative, then the object, and finally the past participle. We are gonna review some examples. The first one is, Juan is having his bike fixed. As you can see here, Juan is the subject. Is the verb to be. Having in this case is have, that is a causative. But we need to add the ing because it's present continuous. Then we have his bike, that is the object, and finally fixed, that is the past participle. It's the same thing with the second example. I am having my car repaired. I is the subject, is the verb to be, having is the causative, my car is the object, and repaired is the past participle. Now we are gonna see the present perfect. As you can see here again, we have the subject plus have or has. In this case, this is the auxiliary. Then we have that is the causative, plus object plus past participle. So let's start with examples. Juan, sorry, Juan is the subject. Has in this case is the auxiliary because Juan is a third person, so we need to use has. Then we have had. In this case, this is referred to the causative have. Then his bike, that is the object, and finally fixed, that is the past participle. It's the same thing with the second example. They've had their new house built. Have is auxiliary and had refers to the causative. But now we are going to explain a little bit more about the have had use. First, the first have is the auxiliary verb of the present perfect. And the second, that is had, it's the past participle of the verb have. So have had is used when the action of having, in this sense, or experience or having something happen to you, is already complete, but it has relevance in the present. So now we are gonna say this example. I have had my hair cut. Here, as you can see, had in this part is the past participle of have. It refers to the action of someone else putting your hair because you cannot put your hair by yourself. So we need to help for other person. And the action is already over, but the result, my new haircut, is visible now. Now we have common mistakes in this part. As you can see, in present perfect tense, it's common that learners forget the auxiliary have because in this sense, you need the auxiliary and the verb have. As you can see before this example, Juan has had his bike fixed.
All right, let's check the next time tense, which is the present simple have. So that structure is the next, is the subject plus have or has, depending on the subject in that sentence. Then we have the object, and finally the past participle. For example, here we can see that the subject is Juan. The verb is has, as Juan is third person, it needs to use has instead of have. Then we have the object that is his bike. And in this case, the verb is fixed, but we need the past participle. It says fixed. The same example in first person. In the case is first person, we have to use have. So the sentence says, I have my report done. So the next time tense is simple past that we need to use have as it is simple past. So the structure is the next. First is the subject plus have, that in this case is had, plus object plus past participle. For example, the subject in this sentence is Juan, had because the time tense, his bike, the object, and the past participle of fixed, that is fixed. The same example is I had my house painted last month. Finally, we have the time tense future with will. In this case, the structure is subject plus will plus have plus object and plus past participle. Here we can notice something so important that I will explain in the next slides. But it says, Juan will have his bike fixed. I will have my car washed. And they will have their fridge repaired. Common mistake. When we use causative have in future with will, we should use will plus have. Learners usually use will plus has in third person, but it is incorrect as will works as the auxiliary. It's not necessary to use has. Instead of this is have. We can check a final example in the future with will. The sentence says Anna will have his clothes washed. So Anna is the subject, that is she. The common mistake is will have the object, and finally the past participle. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and let's practice passive voice and the causative have.